I've got a little something for you here. Hey guys, I probably shouldn't say that, especially if there's kids watching. So reverse that. But hey, if things look a little bit different, that's because I'm doing an impromptu review, not only from the office, but I left my tripod at home for something really exciting only the members know about. So I'm shooting this with my cell phone, no mic. I don't know how it's gonna go, but if you don't like it, go cry to your mom. If you're still interested to see this encounter piece from Infinity Studios, stay tuned. Hey guys, my name is Mr. X. This is the Extreme Channel. Today we're looking at this Encounter Dragon statue from Infinity Studios. So before we get started, a few things to clarify. Infinity Studios is a decently new company, a couple years old, and it seems like they're putting their hands in everything. They're doing silicone life-size busts, they're doing comic characters, they're doing dragons, and the first Infinity Studios purchase I made was actually this dragon piece right here, which I wasn't very happy with. So it really concerned me because I have some of their life-size busts on order as well. But for the longest time, I've wanted another dragon piece they created that actually has been long sold out. It's this right here. I believe this is called Fearless Journey. And that one's really hard to get because one nice thing about them is they make really low edition sizes. This one they've made just over 100 of. And this is called Encounter. So it's kind of a dragon-like creature that's looking at a mouse. And we'll look at close-ups during concept, paint, sculpt, and all that. And I was really on the fence for buying him. However, Sideshow put him on their Black Friday sale. And we'll talk more about that in value, but essentially I got them for just over a couple $100. All right, so as always, let's start with concept, and that's what makes Infinity Studios dragon pieces so cool. They're really unique concepts. They have kind of this Asian influence on them sometimes. Here I don't really see that, but let's take a look. And it's gonna be hard to look at it from one angle because there's so many different display options. But here you have on the ground, looks like a mix between a cat and dragon. He is sitting there resting on the ground. Now, when you look at the mouse in the tree, he actually is not that big, which, initially I didn't even think that when I was purchasing this. I was like, this is going to be a big piece, not necessarily size-wise, but this is a big dragon. It is not a big dragon, which to me kind of takes away the mystery. Would have been cooler if the mouse was a human. It almost looks like a predator making friends with its prey, and that's kind of how I see this, and it has this tree in the back that kind of tells more to the story. It's just so simplistic, but it's so neat too. I think there's a lot going on here. It almost has this element of mystery to it, which I think is what I really like. So very interesting piece for sure. And that's what I like about the Infinity Studio dragon pieces. They all have this calm, serene feeling to them, and this gives that as well. So concept, I think it's awesome. Where does someone come up with this? I think you can really say that this is truly art. It's a concept someone came out with, and then obviously we had somebody sculpt it and paint it, some art direction on there. So I think the concept's a 4 out of 5. It's different, it's cool. I like fierce dragons as well. Even calm ones like this or Falkor are absolutely awesome. Now let's look at design. So I didn't do an assembly video because there are only 3 pieces to assemble, but let's take a look. Box was not too bad and it was not too heavy, which is always a nice change. Had a decent art box. I only looked at the top of it. And it had the foam with the Infinity Studios logo on the foam and the straps. Also had a COA we'll look at. It was 1 layer. As I said, 3 different pieces plus a coin and the COA. You can see right here the mouse, the dragon, and the tree. Here's the COA right here, trying to get it without the glare. So the official number is 128 of what they made. I think I get it wrong later in the video, so forgive me or cry to your mom. This coin too, it's very cool, very heavy. I wish it had a display holder with it, even though I don't like to display COA cards. But I'd rather just keep this in my own collection, but I may sell it one day, so I'll probably put it in the box just for that. And right now I'm throwing the dimensions on the screen since my tape measure is actually in the other room. Like I said, today's kind of a nuts review. So there is a seam line back here where the tree hits. It's not that bad, and depending on which way you display it, but it definitely is there. Now, speaking of display, the cool thing about this is it looks good like this, looks good like this, looks good like this. So you have a lot of different display options. And if you wanted to, you could truly remove the tree if that part wasn't showing because there is an empty keyhole. Also, I do have a little chip on mine, not a big deal. I'm not even gonna contact Sideshow, but this right here. So design, it's a 3 out of 5. There's nothing amazing about it. There's nothing bad about it. It is what it is. Aren't you glad you watched these reviews so I can just say it is what it is? But let's take a look at the paint and sculpt because it's pretty good. I'm very impressed with this piece. There's a lot of weight to this piece too. I don't think I mentioned that, but take a look. All right, so let's dive in here, starting with the base. It's this one gray and white color. and there's not a lot of different things going on, but I still like it for some reason. It doesn't look very imaginative, and you see a few white flecks. That's the styrofoam that's still on there. But I don't mind it, and it's funny with how much white and light colors there are in the statue, the tree, the dragon, the ground, even the mouse. It's not too monotonous. It looks really clean. Take a look at the mouse here. Looks fantastic. Of course, this could be a giant mouse like we were talking about earlier, but they did a really nice job. It doesn't look plasticky. It does feel like it's actually made out of resin. I like the colors they use. The way they blended the pinks and blues and whites looks really good. But where the detail really is in his body right here. Has this scaly type skin. Looks great. And kind of that mane, the sculpted mane on the back. You don't know if this is fur or something hard. I think it's meant to be fur, but it could be spikes too. And I like how it comes to this darker gray purple color. You can see the folds in his skin. Really great job on him. Look at his paws, huge paws. Just a different type of creature. And you know, when you're doing that, you can go in any direction you want. Just make it look good, and I think they did that. Take a look at his portrait. You don't have as much texture as you do, but that's where you almost see kind of like a cat or dog-like feature to him. Very calm, very serene looking at the mouse. He's got these different colored ears back here. Short, stubby tail, and then his paws on the back look fantastic, look like a real dog. Take a look at the tree. I think it looks great. Very smooth textures, and again, it just adds more to the story. If they had done brown, I don't think it would have looked good with this. Takes away from that museum appeal. So overall, I really like what they did with both the paint and sculpt. Very impressive. So really impressed with the sculpt on this. The detail, I think it's awesome. I love the direction they went. I think it's a 4 out of 5 on the sculpt. And you know, the interesting thing about the paint is, normally I look at this, it's like, okay, I see the pinks and whites and blues that we talked about, and that's it. But there's so much more to that. I think there's a lot of smart intention behind some of this paint. So I think the paint's a 4 out of 5 as well, which if you remember, the last piece, that's where some of this was really lacking. So very happy they've stepped up their game, or maybe it was just a fluke in the previous piece that I bought. Now let's talk about value. So retail's at $800. They made 136 or something like that. I'm off by a few, sue me. They made 130 something, whatever that COA said that you saw. And $800, obviously I got the 10% off plus free shipping. Plus I used a whole bunch of reward points. So I ended up paying like $240 or something like that. But yeah, so I got a fantastic deal. That would be an X on the value. But I think for other people, you know, $800, this is a little bit bigger than a 1/4 scale piece that retails around $600. There is a low edition size, so I appreciate that. But I think this is truly a work of art. I think I can get my money back. You know, that other dragon piece that I'm trying to get has been sold out forever. I can't even find one. So it's not even about the money. It's about finding one. And this one could go in that direction. So I think the value is a 4 out of 5. It's done really, really well. I'm very much digging this statue. I don't think I'd want to sell it. So does this have the X factor? Is it a 5 out of 5 statue? You know, I don't think he is. I think it's cool for what it is. And I think that if you collect dragons or art or even just animal statues, I think this would be great for that. But I think it's a 4 out of 5. It's a very impressive statue. It's so happy that they didn't disappoint. Let me know what you think of this guy. Like I said, would he be good on a coffee table just as a piece of art? That's kind of how I see him, or obviously going with my dragon collection. But thanks for watching, guys. I know this was unconventional a little bit. Sometimes I have to sacrifice quality for quantity. So go ahead and hit that Mr. X logo if you like stuff like this. I drop daily content. Check out some of these other pieces from Infinity and Queen Studios. Otherwise,